Sydney Living Museums presents a new exhibition and talk series, Superhouse, Architecture and Interiors Beyond the Everyday. Curator and architect Karen McCartney takes us through the space at the Museum of Sydney.
Before there was the exhibition, there was a book, and we were very anxious that the exhibition wasn't just the pages of the book on the wall, because we didn't feel that delivered enough. You could just buy the book and look at it in your living room. And so we created a series of kind of immersive areas, taking three key houses from the book. The one that's on the cover, this solo house where the swimming pool sits in the middle of the space, and then a tiny prefab in outside Amsterdam, which is again a very different living experience. And then the third is Astley Castle, which was essentially a ruin that was mended and bound together by a new architectural intervention. So there are three incredibly different spaces, and the idea is that you can sit in them, you can listen to an interview with the architect, which we did specifically for the exhibition. And then we also have a video where we've interviewed a lot of the architects and also a lot of what we've called, for want of a better word, tastemakers. And that's a series of people who we've asked, what is your super house? And we've got a whole exciting, very varied range of answers there. This is in Ireland, and I grew up in Ireland in the 70s at the same time as this was built. And to me, Ireland was all low-lying cottages, or Belfast is a very red brick Victorian city, and Dublin's a kind of Georgian city. So when I saw this kind of amazing Mesian pavilion kind of cantilevered over this site, I just couldn't. I was so excited that it was actually in Ireland. The owner didn't want the plants to be damaged. He wanted something that kind of floated in the trees. This house by Tom Kundig is an amazing example of how a house is integrated with nature. In fact, it's structured so that it's set deep into the rock. They excavated the rock and then embedded the house in it, and you can see the grassed roof and this mixture of man-made materials and the natural rock setting. And as he says in his quote, that buildings gain patina over time and become more beautiful. And I think again it's back to that idea of thinking of the future of how a thing evolves. It's not just done and set, but it actually changes if it's set up in a certain way where nature can become part of it. I think what I hope that people would walk away with would be a questioning mind, and to actually, we've done on each of the houses a little short why super, and that kind of gives a quick explanation of why we think this particular house is super, so that then they can think to themselves what would matter to them. So there are lots of people will go, I couldn't live in that place, or that feels too spare or whatever, but it's really to provoke thought and to enjoy the expression of different ways of living.